Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5 best graphics cards. Starting at number 5. Radeon RX 6750 XT. Start with the Navi 21 GPU and then cut down the various functional units to create a smaller die that can sell at lower prices, and you have AMD's Navi 22 and the RX 6750 XT. The RX 6700 XT is basically the same GPU, with slight lower clock speeds, memory speeds, and power consumption about 5% faster overall. Give some thought to the RX 6700 10GB as well, which offers less performance but also costs less and gives the other GPUs some healthy value competition. The 6750 XT has the same number of GPU cores as the previous generation RX 5700 XT, but significantly higher clock speeds and more cache give it about a 30% boost to performance. During testing, the RX 6750 XT hit clock speeds in excess of 2.6 GHz while gaming and that's at stock on the reference card. Factory overclocked models can push that closer to 2.7 GHz, still without cooking the GPU. Coming at number 4. Radeon RX 6800. AMD's Navi 21 GPUs like the Radeon RX 6800 represent a better value for high-end AMD cards right now. The RX 6800 provides excellent rasterization performance and can handle ray tracing games at 1080p as well, thanks to the RDNA 2 architecture. At current prices, which have dropped quite a bit in the past few months, the RX 6800 is your best bet for a Navi 21 graphics card, with prices starting at around €500, unless you can find a good sale on an RX 6950 XT, RX 6900 XT, or RX 6800 XT. The Navi 21 GPU was affectionately dubbed Big Navi prior to launch by the enthusiast community, and we got exactly what we wanted. It's over twice the size of the previous generation Navi 10, with twice the shader cores and twice the RAM. Clock speeds are also boosted into the 2.1 to 2.4 GHz range, and AMD did all this without substantially increasing power requirements. The RX 6800 has a 250 WTBP, lower than the competing RTX 3080's 320 WTBP. At number 3. GeForce RTX 3080. NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 3080 with the now previous generation NVIDIA Ampere architecture continues to be a great option, though it's now lost some of its luster. The recommendation also applies to all RTX 3080 cards, including the RTX 3080 Ti and RTX 3080 12GB depending on current prices. Right now, the best deals we can find are $730 for the 10GB card, while the 12GB and 3080 Ti have shot up to well over $1,000, making them questionable choices. But that might change, so check around first. 2 years after it first launched, the RTX 3080 still performs well. It can easily handle 1440p at max settings, and often 4K as well, though stepping down to high quality may be necessary for the latter. DLSS also works without ray tracing, and is currently available in over 200 games, so it's definitely a feature that's worth a bit extra. The biggest problem with buying an RTX 3080 series card right now is the RTX 4070/4070 Ti that are undoubtedly coming in the near future. AMD's RX 7900 cards are also priced within range of the 3080 12GB and 3080 Ti, and frankly we think the RTX 3080 10GB should be selling for far less than the current $700 plus asking price. We'll need to see where the RTX 4070 models land in the coming months, which makes the prospect of spending anything north of $500 on a 30 series GPU rather unappealing. Number 2 of my list. Radeon RX 6600. The Radeon RX 6600 takes everything good about the 6600 XT and then scales it back slightly. It's about 15% slower overall, just a bit behind the RTX 3060 as well, but in our testing it was still 30% faster than the RTX 3050. It's also priced to move, with the least expensive cards starting at just over $200 a euro, like this ASRock RX 6600 card at Newegg. That's a lot less than AMD's official $329 MSRP, which felt somewhat high at launch a euro. Not that we ever saw those prices in meaningful quantities until recent months. But with cards now shipping well below MSRP, this represents the market's best overall bang for the buck. Mid-range graphics cards are a competitive arena, and the RX 6600 goes up against both the RTX 3050 as well as previous generation RTX 20 series and GTX 16 series GPUs. It ends up delivering near RTX 2070 performance in our testing, at least in non-ray tracing scenarios. With ray tracing enabled, however, it struggles badly, barely averaging 30 frames per second in our DXR test suite at 1080p medium and trailing NVIDIA's RTX 2060 by 20%. And number 1. GeForce RTX 4090. For some, the best graphics card is the fastest card, pricing be damned. NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 4090 caters to precisely this category of user. It's also the debut of NVIDIA's brand new Ada Lovelace architecture, and as such will represent the most potent card NVIDIA has to offer, at least until the inevitable RTX 4090 Ti shows up. If you were disappointed that the RTX 3090 Ti was only moderately faster than an RTX 3080 in most workloads, RTX 4090 will have something more to offer. Across our standard suite of gaming benchmarks, it was 55% faster than the 3090 Ti on average. Fire up a game with heavy ray tracing effects, and that lead grows to 78%. AMD's new RX 7900 XTX can't touch it either, as the 4090 is 25% faster in traditional rasterization games, and just over double the performance in ray tracing games. Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.